everybody, and welcome to another Ride Along Politics with Cornercutter. Today, I am going to play a video from the channel Pushing the Limits. It's actually a radio show out of Las Vegas, but they simultaneously will stream their stuff live on YouTube. I want to say that the show comes on like 2 to 4 Eastern Standard Time, something like that. And it's hosted by a gentleman named Brian Shapiro. Be warned, Brian does not take it easy on the MAGA crowd. He goes straight for the throat and kind of meets their energy and reflects it back at them. So that said, we're not going to waste any time. We're going to go ahead and get right to it.
Sir, I'll give you one more opportunity. By the way, I potted you down, dumbass. That means nobody can hear you. I appreciate your kind words, and I'm glad you found the show. Call back anytime. I appreciate you. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you'd like to be a part of the conversation. Let's go to Eddie. I believe Eddie is next up on PTL. Hey, Eddie, thanks for calling in, man. What's on your mind?
Thank you, Muhammad. You got checkmated, clown.
Okay, would you like to have a conversation, or you just want to start the just want to insult me?
No, that's a statement.
Okay, thank you. So besides calling me a clown and saying shove it up your ass, can you clarify in any intellectual way at all why you disagree with me? What did I say on the show without calling me a name? Tell me why you disagree with me, why I'm a clown. I don't mind it if you call me names. I've got thick skin. But can you articulate and prove to the audience, hold on, I'm not done yet, I'm asking you a question. Can you articulate, as any semi-intelligent person would, why I'm a clown and what I've said on the show today that you disagree with? Because if you can articulate that, we can have a conversation. If you're just going to call up and say, I can't wait to call Brian a clown on the air because I'm so funny, then the conversation's probably not going to go anywhere. Now, if you think I'm a clown and say, Brian, here's why I think you're a clown, then I'll give you the platform to tell me why. So I'm going to give you just one opportunity.
Reasonable request from Brian.
Enough to articulate why you think I'm a clown. What did I say on this show that you disagree with? Go ahead, sir.
You have your ears on? You ready?
I've been ready since this phone call started.
You insulted Muhammad 10 times. He never insulted you once because you were losing the argument.
Here's why. Okay,
why.
so I lost the argument and I suck is the only way you can articulate why you think I'm a clown. So let me explain to you why I attacked Muhammad, okay? Because, like you, he's not a very intelligent person. Here's why. He said it was a landslide victory and it was a huge win, like people say it's a mandate. And I tried to provide facts to him, which I will try to provide to you, and I'm sure you still won't get it, but I haven't hung up on you. I kept you on the line, clown, okay? Shove it up your ass, clown. I kept you on the line, and let's pot him down so I can finish my conversation with him, even though it's not much of a conversation. So you see, sir, 1.7% is the vote popular where Donald Trump won by. 1.7%. If you look at the history of this country, it was one of the closest elections we've ever had. So when someone says it's a mandate or it was a huge win, I provide facts and say, well, it wasn't a huge. In fact, Joe Biden in 2020, 20 times larger win for him, okay? So those stats alone on the popular vote prove my point that it wasn't this mandate. So what did I say just now that would lead you to believe that I'm wrong? Go ahead and, without calling me a name, because then we'll move on to the next caller. What did I say that's not factually accurate, sir, that would lead you to believe that I lost the argument? Go ahead.
I got numbers.
Okay.
You want to hear a number?
Sure. What number did I say that you disagree with? Can you please tell me? Let's start there.
How many radio shows have you been fired from?
So again, he's calling. By the way, I've never been fired from one radio show or one station my entire life, and that has nothing to do with this conversation.
Yes,
you see, ladies and gentlemen, and by the way, I can go down my resume with you. I've been let go, budget cuts, but that has no bearing on the conversation. So what I do is I have a debate with you. It's one-sided because you're not smart enough to have a debate with me because you're proving it right now on the air. I just explained to you why I attacked Muhammad. I just gave you stats on the popular vote, and I asked if you could retort what I just said. And your only retort was, how many radio stations
I wonder what he was talking about.
By the way, I've never been fired from one radio station my entire life. But that's irrelevant because it has nothing to do with what we're talking about. I asked you why you called me a clown. Hold on. I asked you why you called me a clown. I asked you why you insulted me. And you responded, and your first response wasn't, oh, because you've been fired from a bunch of radio stations, which is, by the way, not true. The first thing you said was, because you lost the argument with Muhammad. I explained to you why Muhammad was wrong. I articulated it by saying this was one of the closest elections we've ever had based on the popular vote. Donald Trump won the popular vote by about 1.7%. I said, where do you disagree with me on it?
I was gonna say,
And you
wasn't it
talked
like a
about
million or so votes
alleged
that,
radio
that
stations
Donald,
that I
like, it
fired
really,
from.
it wasn't
Sir,
a
do you
lot.
understand when I try to have a... I'm not done talking yet, dummy. I'm not done talking yet,
And he
snowflake.
only got 49% of the vote, I think,
I
so
tried
he didn't
to
actually
give
have
you an
a
opportunity.
majority.
You're obviously not smart enough to have a conversation
Because
with
there was
me.
a lot of people
Sir,
that,
what do you,
that
since
broke
you
third
claim
party.
you know so much about me, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure Eddie's your real name. Sir, what do you do for a living here? Where do you live? You're the one. Have a nice day, you inbred. I don't even want to talk. Should I give this guy one more opportunity? Boy, these people are so stupid. They're such clowns and they're so stupid. Sir, I'll give you one more opportunity. By the way, I potted you down, dumbass. That means nobody can hear you, okay? It's my show. I get to do what I want, dumbass. So you won't tell us anything about you,
See,
your
that's
real
what
name,
I'm talking
what
about.
you do
That
for
was
a
the
job,
warning that
because
I
you're
was
a
giving.
coward.
Brian can
But I'm
be
gonna
very,
give you
very
one more
abrasive,
opportunity.
but I mean, I can kind of understand why he gets that way. When the dude immediately comes in and starts on the noise that he was on, and then when there's the question that Brian asked, and he gets an answer that is so off topic, that's called being disingenuous. If you want to engage in a positive, good back and forth, then address the question that is asked to you, which was about the election.
That it was a popular vote win of about 1.7%. So, I'm giving you one more opportunity, dumbass, as I pod you back up, clown, dumbass, to see if you have an IQ over 20, to articulate where you disagree with me on without ad hominem attacks. Let's see if we can do that. I'm just giving it right back to you. So I'm giving you another opportunity. Where am I wrong, sir? And he hung up the phone. Have a nice day, buddy. Just another MAGA clown who cannot articulate in any way, shape, or form why he thinks I'm a clown. That is
changing my words. I already said 3 times or 4 times that you've asked me
the
that
first
question.
thing you said.
I agree with
Is it
you.
new caller?
Hello. I'm glad you had a nice weekend. You keep talking about Trump's targeting the violent people in the January 6th. Are you aware of the man from your home state in Connecticut, Andrew Miller, who killed an 8-year-old child and his mother that Biden pardoned?
So we're going to do what about us again? JD, every single... No. Hold on. I'll answer your question. First of all, if you actually listen to the show every day, which I
JD is
know
a
you
regular caller on the show. They get into it a lot.
criticized and called out Joe Biden for his pardons. I've also said that I don't think presidents should have the power of pardons, but I do find it interesting that every single time I criticize Donald Trump, you're the first person to call in to talk about Joe Biden. So JD, here's the deal. Even though I've addressed that, and I don't agree with any of those pardons, in the first few days of Donald Trump in office, he has pardoned violent criminals. So I want to know, you are the person who said, when you called into this show a few weeks ago, you made a promise, and you said if he does pardon violent criminals on January 6th, which you said you didn't agree with, that you would call into the show and call him out for it. But instead, you called into this show and decided to talk about Joe Biden. So why are you a liar, JD?
You asked me how I felt about that, and I answered
And you
the
said
question,
that,
and I said I don't like him pardoning violent criminals.
But the first thing that you did, JD, is you wanted to bring up a pardon of Joe Biden. It's called whataboutism. And not only
No, it's not.
yes, it
Yes,
is.
it is.
The topic today is Donald Trump. Excuse me, the President of the United States is Donald Trump.
That's a thing that you get a lot within these political debates, within whether it's Brian on this show or Parker or Dean. You get this a lot, a whataboutism. Somebody will get asked a question about Donald Trump, and they'll be like, well, but Biden. Okay, look, we can engage in a conversation about Joe Biden, about Barack Obama, about Bill Clinton, about any prior presidency that you would want to engage in a conversation with. However, that's not the question that was asked. And every single conservative that you speak to, that I've spoken with, it always is the same thing. It's never addressing the topic. They always dodge and run away. So I don't get it. I don't look at politics like it's a fucking game of sports where you have to have loyalty to your fucking party either. So just because I'm a registered Democrat doesn't mean that I have to vote Democrat. Like, it's not what it's about. If there was a Democrat that was spewing the fucking nonsense that Donald Trump spews, hell no, I wouldn't vote for that.
Like this guy has bird for brains and he can't listen. Donald Trump has also pardoned murderers. I've talked about that on this show, which obviously you are either ignorant to or so biased you won't talk about it. He literally pardoned people who killed innocent Iraqi civilians. He pardoned those people in his first administration. So I'm not going to play this whataboutism game for you. And by the way, there is no moral equivalence between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Joe Biden's never been convicted of a crime. He's never been found liable for sexual abuse. There is no moral equivalency between the orange turd that you voted for and Joe Biden. So are you going to remain on topic, or are you just going to play whataboutism every single time Donald Trump does something despicable? And pardoning violent criminals on January 6th, JD, is despicable. Why can't you say that? It's horrible. Why can't you admit it?
Well, first of all, violent criminals and murderers are two different things. Two FBI agents.
And there he goes again.
You are not capable, are you? That's the thing, right there. Why can't, it's a simple thing. Why can't you just say pardoning J6 rioters is bad? I can. Pardoning J6 rioters was fucking bad. It's not something he should have done. Don't try and deflect. Address it, and then you can actually move on to a more productive portion of conversation where you get somewhere with people.
Why can't you say that? You're like a fucking record. Why won't you repeat after me? Because I know you know it's wrong, because you admitted it a few weeks ago that if he said it, you would call it out, which you're not doing now. Why can't you admit it was not just wrong, but despicable for those who attacked Capitol Police on January 6th to be pardoned? That question has nothing to do with Joe Biden, it has nothing to do with Democrats, and it has everything to do with the news of this week. Why won't you admit what he did was wrong?
Why are you changing my words? I already said
still
3 times or 4 times that you've asked me that question.
The first thing you said...
I agree with you!
The first thing you said on this show, JD, was not saying... Listen,
that has nothing to do with your question.
No, it does. It has everything to do with it, because the topic is Donald Trump's pardons, not Joe Biden's pardons. But the first thing you did was say, well, what about? That's the first... Now, the first thing you said was... Let me give you a lesson, JD, on people that I'll respect and people I don't respect. For example, the first thing you said was, Brian, I agree with you. I called you a few weeks ago. I was hoping you wouldn't pardon the violent criminal. He did. I think it's despicable. I think it's wrong. I did disagree with a lot of the pardons of Joe Biden. I would agree with you, JD, and I would say, you're right. Thank you for your honesty. But the first thing you do, like so many other MAGA clowns that call into this show, and yes, JD, you are a MAGA clown. The first thing you want to do is talk about Joe Biden. The first thing you want to do is talk about Joe Biden's pardons. The first thing you don't say is his pardons of the January 6th insurrectionists and those who committed terrible crimes were terrible. That is your way of thinking. You're always looking for an excuse to defend Donald Trump.
Always a deflection.
Why is it you don't want to answer any of my questions? And your only defense is, that's another one. It's a very basic question.
Well, the thing is, man, this calls for Mark, and that call yesterday was absolutely disgraceful, sir.
Okay.
And that's what's the problem with Democratic State.
Okay, so I don't know what call you're talking about, but let's try to focus on you and me right now. You said you're a Trump supporter, so let's try to have a conversation. What do you like about what Donald Trump has done over the course of the last 6 or 7 months, Stephen?
I like that he got rid of EV mandate.
Oh, EV mandate.
He got rid of what? I'm sorry?
The EV mandate.
Okay, you don't have... Why are you yelling? Can we have a conversation without you yelling?
Sir, can you hear me? Do I need to speak louder?
No, I heard what you said, but why are you yelling?
See how these
Can we
people
have
act?
a civil
You
conversation?
did it. You said, excuse me, what'd you say? So I spoke a
Okay,
little louder.
okay, well, thank you. You don't have to scream. Let me ask you a question, Stephen. Do you have any kids?
No.
You don't. So let's just say if you had a daughter, Stephen, would you want to vote for somebody who admittedly went into teenage girls' locker rooms to look at teenagers in a sexual manner? Do you think that's appropriate? Do you think that's someone who should be the president of the United States or a 34-count felon?
In a sexual manner?
He said that on the Howard Stern show. Did you not listen to the interview, sir? Because I did, and we played it on the
Was
show.
it sexually?
Yeah.
How was it sexual, sir?
Yep. He joked about it, and he talked about it, and he bragged about the fact that.
I mean, it's sexual.
Okay, I'm sure.
I can look at grown men and make a joke.
Okay.
So there
That's
are
a
women.
very,
there are women
that's a
in
really
that
fucking weird thing to say in defense of Donald Trump's comments from fucking the Howard Stern show. That dude just said something about looking at, oh my God. I can't even repeat it. I won't even repeat it.
Answer the question. Don't touch it.
You've already asked it.
All right, guys. That's going to be it for this one. Until next time, Cornercutter away.